Hello, and welcome to Podcast for English. My name is Linda. I'm really happy you're here today. This channel is for people who want to learn English in a simple and natural way. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to speak fast. You don't need to understand every word. You only need to listen. You can listen while you rest. You can listen while you work. You can listen while you live your daily life. Take a deep breath, relax your body, clear your mind. Now, let's begin today's English lesson together. In today's podcast, we are talking about learning English when you are tired. Today's topic is this: learning English when you are tired. Many people want to learn English, but they often feel exhausted. They finish work. They finish daily responsibilities. And at the end of the day, energy's low. When you feel tired, learning can feel impossible. You feel slow. You feel unfocused. You feel like your brain is not working. Because of this, many people think they should not learn when they are tired. They think learning only works when they feel fresh and motivated. This episode is here to change that idea. Being tired does not mean learning must stop. It means learning must change. In this podcast, we will talk about how learning still happens when energy is low. We will talk about gentle ways to stay connected to English without pressure. And we will talk about how tired moments can still support progress. You do not need to push yourself. You do not need to force focus. You do not need to be productive in a traditional way. When you are tired, the goal is not improvement. The goal is connection. If English stays connected, learning continues quietly. This episode is for you if you feel tired after long days. It is for you if you feel guilty for not studying enough. And it is for you if you think rest and learning cannot exist together. Learning does not only belong to energetic moments, it can exist in tired moments too. And when you learn how to work with tiredness instead of fighting it, English becomes easier to keep in your life. Feeling tired does not mean the brain stops learning. Many people believe learning only happens when the mind feels sharp and full of energy. When they feel tired, they think the brain is closed and nothing can enter. But the brain does not work this way. Tiredness mainly affects effort and control. It does not remove the brain's ability to receive information. It only changes how learning happens. When you are tired, the brain is less able to focus hard. It is less able to analyze and memorize, but it is still able to absorb. This is important. Absorbing does not require strong energy. It happens naturally when you listen or watch something gently. The brain still notices sound, rhythm, and familiar patterns. In some ways, tiredness can even help learning. When you are tired, you stop trying too hard. You stop controlling every detail. You stop forcing understanding. This relaxed state allows information to enter quietly. The brain is very good at learning in the background. It does not need full attention all the time. It can learn passively through exposure. This is why listening works well when you are tired. You may not remember everything. You may not understand clearly, but the brain is still connecting sounds and meanings. Another important point is safety. When you are tired, you often become more honest with yourself. You stop pretending to be perfect. You accept limits. This acceptance reduces pressure. Reduced pressure helps the brain stay open. Learning does not disappear when energy is low. It simply changes form. Instead of active study, learning becomes gentle exposure. Instead of effort, it becomes presence. If you expect tired learning to look the same as energetic learning, you will feel disappointed. But if you allow learning to be lighter, you will see that progress continues quietly. Tiredness is not the enemy of learning. Pressure is. When you remove pressure, the brain keeps learning, even when you are tired. When you are tired, expectations need to change. Many people expect learning to look the same every day. They expect focus. They expect memory. They expect clear progress. When these expectations meet tiredness, frustration appears. Frustration does not help learning. It adds pressure. Pressure makes tiredness feel worse. Changing expectations is not lowering standards. It is choosing a realistic approach. When energy is low, the goal is not improvement. The goal is connection. Connection means staying close to English. It means keeping English present, even gently. It means not disappearing from the process. You do not need to learn something new every time. You do not need to remember details. You do not need to feel productive. Allow learning to be light. Listening without understanding is acceptable. Hearing familiar sounds is enough. Recognizing a few words is enough. These small experiences keep the brain engaged. Another important change is emotional expectation. You do not expect yourself to feel motivated. You do not expect yourself to enjoy the process. You simply allow it to exist. When expectations are gentle, guilt reduces. When guilt reduces, resistance disappears. Tired learning should feel supportive, not demanding. It should feel like rest, not work. This is why listening works well at low energy. It asks very little. It gives the brain something familiar and calm. Changing expectations also means accepting slow days. Some days feel empty, some days feel foggy. These days are not wasted. They are part of recovery. They help the brain reset. Learning does not need constant effort to continue. It needs patience and trust. When you change expectations, tiredness becomes manageable. You stop fighting your body. You start working with it. And when learning works with your energy, English stays in your life, even on the hardest days. When you are exhausted, listening is the best activity for learning English. Exhaustion makes thinking feel heavy. It makes reading difficult. It makes speaking feel stressful. Listening works differently. Listening does not ask the brain to produce language. It does not ask the brain to analyze rules. It does not ask the brain to remember details. Because of this, listening uses much less energy. When energy is low, low effort learning is important. High effort learning creates resistance. Resistance makes people quit. Listening allows English to stay present without adding weight. Another reason listening works well when you are tired is rhythm. The rhythm of speech can be calming. A familiar voice can help the mind slow down. When the mind slows down, stress reduces. When stress reduces, the brain becomes more open. This openness allows learning to continue quietly. Listening also gives permission to rest. You can lie down. You can close your eyes. You can let the sound wash over you. This kind of learning does not fight tiredness. It respects it. Another important point is emotional safety. When you are tired, mistakes feel bigger. Speaking can feel risky. Listening removes this risk. There is no chance to fail. There is no need to be correct. This safety keeps English connected to calm feelings. Calm feelings support long-term learning. Listening also helps maintain routine. Even on hard days, you can still listen. This small action protects the habit. Habits survive tired days better than active study. You may not remember what you listened to. That is okay. Memory is not the goal on tired days. The goal is exposure. The goal is familiarity. The goal is staying close. Listening allows all of this with very little demand. When you are exhausted, the best learning choice is the kind that does not feel like learning. Listening fits this perfectly. And when English stays present on tired days, progress continues quietly in the background. When you are tired, short listening sessions are more helpful than long ones. Long sessions demand attention. They ask the brain to stay focused for a long time. When energy is low, this demand feels heavy. Short listening sessions work with tiredness instead of against it. A few minutes of listening do not feel overwhelming. They feel possible. Because they feel possible, you actually do them. This is important. Learning only works when it happens. Short sessions make learning happen on tired days. When you listen for a short time, the brain stays relaxed. Relaxation allows information to enter quietly. There is no pressure to understand or remember. These short moments keep English present. Presence matters more than duration. The brain does not need long exposure to stay connected. It needs repeated contact over time. Short listening sessions provide this contact without stress. Another benefit of short sessions is recovery. When you are tired, attention fades quickly. Stopping early prevents frustration. Frustration creates negative feelings about learning. Negative feelings make you avoid English later. Short sessions end before frustration appears. This protects your relationship with English. You finish listening feeling calm instead of exhausted. Calm feelings encourage you to return. Short listening also fits easily into tired routines. You can listen before sleep. You can listen while resting. You can listen without changing your schedule. This flexibility is powerful. You may feel that short sessions are not enough, but learning does not measure effort. It measures consistency. 5 minutes today and 5 minutes tomorrow are better than one long session that never repeats. Short listening sessions also help build trust. You trust yourself to continue even on low energy days. This trust reduces guilt. When guilt disappears, learning feels lighter. When learning feels lighter, it becomes sustainable. Being tired does not require stopping English. It requires adjusting how English appears. Short listening sessions are a simple adjustment. They respect your energy. They protect the habit. And habits are what carry learning through tired periods. Guilt often appears when you are tired and feel you should be studying. You plan to learn English, but your body feels heavy. Your mind feels slow. When you stop, guilt starts talking. This guilt tells you that you are lazy. It tells you that you are not serious. It tells you that you are falling behind. These thoughts are common, but they are not true. Guilt does not understand tiredness. The body has limits. The brain has limits. Learning cannot happen when you fight these limits. Reducing guilt begins with permission. You give yourself permission to be tired. You give yourself permission to rest. Rest is not the opposite of learning. Rest supports learning. When you accept tiredness, pressure reduces. When pressure reduces, guilt loses strength. Another way to reduce guilt is changing the definition of study. Study does not need to mean effort. It does not need to mean sitting at a desk. Listening quietly is still learning. Staying connected is still learning. If you listen for a few minutes, you did not fail. You participated. Even if you do nothing one day, the process is not broken. One day does not erase progress. Quitting does. Guilt often comes from unrealistic expectations. You expect yourself to learn every day with full energy. This expectation does not match real life. Replacing this expectation with kindness changes everything. You speak to yourself as you would speak to a friend. You acknowledge effort. You respect limits. Another important point is trust. You trust that learning continues over time. You trust that missing one day does not destroy progress. Trust calms the mind. A calm mind learns better than a guilty one. Guilt drains energy. Reducing guilt gives energy back. When you let go of guilt, English stops feeling like a burden. It becomes something supportive instead of demanding. Learning with kindness lasts longer. Learning with pressure breaks easily. When you are tired, choosing kindness is not weakness. It is wisdom. And wisdom keeps learning alive through tired days. Long, tired periods can make learning English feel very distant. Sometimes tiredness is not just one day. It lasts for weeks. It lasts for months. During these periods, motivation becomes weak. Energy stays low, and learning feels easy to forget. Keeping English in your life during long, tired periods requires a gentle approach. You do not try to improve. You do not try to push forward. You try to stay connected. Connection can be very small. It can be a familiar voice playing softly. It can be the same short audio repeated many times. Repetition is helpful during tired periods. The brain likes familiar input when energy is low. Familiar sounds feel safe and comforting. This safety matters. When English feels safe, it does not add stress. It becomes background support instead of pressure. Another important idea is reducing choice. Too many options require energy. Choosing what to listen to can feel tiring. During long, tired periods, fewer choices help. You listen to the same content. You trust it is enough. Keeping English present also means lowering frequency. You do not need daily learning. You need regular return. Even listening a few times a week keeps the connection alive. This approach prevents burnout. Burnout happens when expectations are too high for too long. Gentle presence prevents burnout. Another helpful habit is pairing English with rest. You listen while lying down. You listen while closing your eyes. This pairs English with calm feelings. Calm feelings protect motivation. You may not feel progress during these periods. That is okay. Progress is not the goal during long, tired times. Survival is. If English survives in your life, progress can return later. Long, tired periods eventually pass. Energy slowly comes back. When it does, English is still there. The habit is still alive. This makes returning easier. Keeping English during long, tired periods is not about discipline. It is about kindness and patience. And patience allows learning to continue quietly, even when you feel exhausted. Learning English while you are tired may not feel productive, but it still leads to progress over time. Progress does not always come from effort. Sometimes it comes from continuity. Sometimes it comes from simply staying present. When you learn while tired, you are not building speed or accuracy. You are building familiarity. And familiarity is the base of all real language ability. Each tired listening moment tells the brain that English is still part of your life. This message is important. It keeps the connection alive. Connections do not disappear easily. They grow stronger with time, even when growth feels slow. Learning during tired moments also builds emotional strength. You learn that English does not require perfect conditions. You learn that English can exist even when you feel low. This reduces fear. Fear often blocks progress more than lack of knowledge. Over time, tired learning creates calm habits. You are no longer afraid of missing days. You are no longer anxious about being perfect. This calm allows learning to continue naturally when energy returns. Another important effect is trust. You begin to trust yourself. You trust that small actions are enough. This trust keeps you moving forward, even slowly. When energy improves, English feels closer. You do not need to restart from zero. The habit is still there. Many learners quit because they believe tired learning is useless. But tired learning is what carries you through difficult periods. It protects your relationship with English. It keeps learning gentle instead of painful. Progress built this way is quiet. It does not announce itself, but it lasts. One day you realize something feels easier. Listening feels lighter. English feels less distant. These changes came from tired moments. Moments that felt small. Moments that did not feel important, but they mattered. Learning does not require strength every day. It requires presence over time. Even tired presence counts. And when you accept this, English becomes something you can keep in your life, no matter how tired you feel. You've reached the end of today's episode. Before you leave, I want you to remember one simple thing. You did something good for yourself today. You listened. You stayed. You didn't give up. And that matters. Learning English is not about being fast. It is not about being perfect. It is about showing up again and again. Some days will feel easy. Some days will feel hard. Both are normal. Progress does not always feel exciting. Sometimes it feels quiet. Sometimes you don't notice it at all. But learning is still happening. Every minute you listen, your ears are learning new sounds. Your mind is learning new patterns. Your confidence is growing, even if you cannot see it yet. You don't need to push yourself. You don't need to compare yourself to others. You are on your own path, and your pace is enough. Let English be part of your daily life. Listen while you rest. Listen while you work. Listen while you live your normal day. If this episode helped you feel calmer, more focused, or more motivated, then your time here was well spent. Come back when you can. Come back when you need a quiet space to learn. My name is Linda, and this is Podcast for English. Thank you for learning with me. Until next time, keep going and never give up. Believe in yourself, because you are stronger than you think.